Yo, how y'all doing? It's August, baby, 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 baby. um, the 16th. You know, you gotta eat your peas. Gotta eat your peas. Make peace, not war. Make peace, not war. So, please and thanks is how you show manners. People have forgotten that lately. Proper etiquette just seems like a lost art nowadays. Probably because everything is so fast, it seems hazy. We go do that again. Please and thanks is how you show manners. People forgot that lately. Proper etiquette just seems like a lost art nowadays. Probably because everything happens so fast, it seems hazy. And people get lazy. And all daisy. Poor habits build up and up and up. Preference for a happy life is what we strive for. People don't always get what they want. People get what they fight every day just to stay alive for. Let me say that again. Proper habits build up and up. Preference for a happy life is what we strive for. People don't always get what they want. People get what they fight every day just to stay alive for. So every day we're looking for that eternal bliss, that eternal happiness, that eternal joy. But we also have to look for that internal peace, that internal joy. Regardless of the circumstance of the external. So we're always, because we can't control the external. We can't control what happens outside of us, what happens, in the outside world. We can't control that. But our inside world is all we have control over. We can't control the people around us. We can't control situations that happen. We can't control where we end up. The only thing we can control is how we feel about it and how we respond to it. Obviously, you put in the work, or your decisions affect where you end up. But that's the only thing you can control. The decisions that you make, how you respond to adversity, and how you feel about it. How you deal with the stresses. How you deal with that. That's it. That's all you can control. That is all you can control. It's hard to just accept that we can't control everything. It's hard sometimes, but it is necessary. If we want to make something of our lives, if we want to do something big for ourselves, or if we want to be happy with life, enjoy life, we have to understand, and I'm saying this to myself too, most importantly, we have to be able to accept that not everything is in our control. We have to be able to accept that we can't control what happens. All we can control is the what we put out. What we put out. But what comes back in, we can't control that. There's always going to be things that happen within that input that we may not like. And obviously there's some things that we do like, but we don't talk about that because that's never a problem. That's always like what you like, you enjoy. So you're never gonna have a problem with what you enjoy. You're only gonna have a problem with what you don't like. That's all you're gonna have a problem with. And the issue is We love having things go our way all the time. That's just not reality. It's just not reality. No matter how much we prepare, how much we prep, how much we are ready, or how much we feel that we're ready, life will hit and it will let you know, I don't care how much you prepared, I'm going to still knock you down. I'm still going to knock you down. There's a quote that Mike Tyson said before that said, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. So we try to prepare as much as we can. We prepare as much as we possibly can, but we'll never be able to control what happens. We prepare as much as we can, but we have to take into account that there's things that happen. There's things that happen. And it could mess up all your progress. It could send you back. You feel like you're taking steps forward, and then there's something that happens that can maybe bring you back down. And being able to adapt and being willing to be able to start from scratch again, or be able to start from lower than where you were to get back up there again, that's somebody who's going to succeed. Because we can fail and fail and fail and fail and fail, but that doesn't make us a failure. What makes us a failure is if we just stop after failing so many times. If we just stop and we just quit, we give up. Though, if something is not working, you do have to question at a certain point. If something is just not working, at a certain point, you have to kind of question things. You kind of have to be like, is this something that is for me? Is this something that I should be doing? Or should I try something? Or should I, like for a career, for example, should I keep on doing this and keep on failing and sometimes wasting time? Or should I go on to something else that may benefit me more? Not make me more comfortable, but maybe benefit me a little bit more. Because sometimes I will say that sometimes it is important to realize when enough is enough and you go on to something else. It's not always, I take back what I said before about, giving up is a failure. You're not really giving up. You're more so starting from ground one, building anew. So like if you're like an engineer, or you're like a computer science major, for example, you're going to school or whatever, if that's not your passion, if that's not your joy, or whatever you're doing, if that's not your joy, and you keep on working and working to get things right, like, what are you doing? Like, yes, you want to work at it, but if this is something that you really want to do, then yes, you keep going at it. But if you don't really want to do it, you're wasting your time, honestly, because it's like you already don't like it, so you're already you're gonna make it far, and you're gonna be even more miserable. You're gonna be resenting the fact that you wasted your life on something that you didn't even want to do in the first place. And part of it is, not peer pressure, but family pressure, family expectations, just what society wants you to do, or whatever the case is. All of these things can impact you in that way make you do something that seems safer or something that has minimal risk. It still has risk, but it's not as risky as what you wanted to do as what you had wanted to do, you know. And it's easier to just do what people expect you to do, because it's like, how do I do this to not be a screw up to people, to not feel like a screw up? How do I do this to not make mistakes but still make money, still think that that's what makes me happy? I'm like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and they're proud of me and all of that, and I'm going to be, and this will make me money, but are you truly happy though? Are you? You may not be. You may not be, but at the end of the day, it's your life. So you have to choose what you want to, you have to choose how you're going to live it wisely. You know, don't live it for your family, don't live it for your friends, don't live it for people around you, live it for yourself. Live your life. Because at the end of the day, all the decisions that you make will impact you more than anybody else. And if you're making a decision that just isn't really you, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and wonder, like, who am I becoming? Who is this? This isn't me. This is a complete stranger. This is somebody completely different. And then it takes you a while. You start from scratch all over again. That's the thing about it, is it's unfortunate, but you do have to have numerous times where you're starting from scratch, you know, especially if it's something that it's like lofty expectations, lofty goals for you, like starting a business or doing something big. It seems big at first, but step by step by step by step, it becomes small. You put this big thing into smaller pieces, step by step by step by step, and then you get there, then you realize it's not that big. It's not that big. And my favorite player of all time, Kobe, rest in peace. But one thing that I admired about him was, regardless of whatever was going on in his life, he went out there and did what he had to do. He loved the game, and he did what was needed. He did what he would, because he was going through stuff too. We all know, you know, you don't have to bring certain stuff up, but he was going through stuff. He had numerous injuries, numerous setbacks. But the one thing that stuck out to me was that he said, there's days where I gotta play every game that I can possibly play. You know, if I'm healthy enough to play, I'm gonna play. But the thing about it is, he always said, there may be somebody in the stands. They put a lot of money into seeing me play this one time, being able to like go one time, and it's gonna cost them a lot to be able to go back. They can't go all the time. They can only see me play one time. I have to play for them. I have to play. And that inspired me. That inspired me a lot. I was able to see him. I was only able to see him one time. Everybody was laughing in the thing because it was a Laker Clippers game, and they were laughing at the fact that he scored 4 points. And they would always laugh at me. Anytime we brought that up, they would always laugh at me because he scored 4 points in the game that I went to go see him. But I was like, I don't really care about that. I'm glad that I got to see him play. I would have liked to have seen him more, but I'm grateful that I was able to see him play. I was able to see him in person. Because I loved, for years, I loved watching him through my TV screen. You know, because we couldn't afford to actually go to the games. But it was a blessing for me. I was grateful to be able to see my idol, see my favorite player play, regardless of how much he scored, regardless of what he did. And that spoke to me. And another thing that he said that spoke to me was, if we as players don't believe it's possible, how can we expect others to believe that they can do it as well? So that goes for anything in life. If we don't believe it's possible, then how can we expect other people to actually believe that we can do this? If we don't even believe it ourselves, how can we do that? If we don't believe it, how can we expect other people to believe that we can do it? It makes no sense. You know, but that's the thing about life, is there's a lot of things that seem impossible until it gets done. Until somebody actually does it. And when they do it, then you got so many other people doing it. You got other people doing it. Like, what is his name? I forget his name. But he ran Roger Bannister, that's his name. He ran, like, they thought it was impossible for humans to crack the 4-minute mile, to crack the 4-minute mile barrier, to be able to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. They thought it was impossible until he did it. And once he did it, there was thousands upon thousands of people that have done it since then. So once he was able to blaze that trail, it was possible. So once it was done, people actually believed they could do it. They had it in their minds that since he did it, if that person, if they did it, then it's possible to be done. Then it could be done again. So it's all about the limits on your imagination. You know, it's all about your limit, about the limits that you put on yourself and the limits that people put on you. That the limits that people put on you, that can affect you at a time, but not as much as the limits you put on yourself. So, man, it's crazy. This was a long video. I didn't intend for it to be this long, but I guess whatever came out, I just had to say what I had to say based on what my discussion is. I had to say what I had to say. So, you guys have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow with the Q's. So we got the P's and the Q's. So I will see you tomorrow. Peace.